Ever since it was launched, the England and Wales Cricket Board's rather unique, let's say, franchise league that has been known as the 100 is something that divided a lot of cricketing opinion. On one hand, people felt, do you really need another format? On the other, ECB were insistent that this would be the format of the future. Well, as it turns out, the format of the future has run into a little bit of monetary trouble, shock horror, and it's reached a point wherein the ECB are looking to privatize and sell off whatever shares they own in a bid to make the league a lot more profitable. But will this involve the IPL franchises as was previously, let's say, reported, not just on this platform but on a variety of other platforms as well? Now, there is a bit of a twist in the tail in that regard, but what we know for sure is that privatization is happening. How so? Well, news has now come about that the ECB have taken formal steps to ensure they start privatizing. What are those formal steps? Well, they've brought in the Rain Group Bank, which is a pretty renowned bank, firm, to start sourcing partners. And as things stand, the ECB owns about a 49% stake in each of those teams, and the aim on their behalf is that they will sell off the stakes that they own and ensure that private investors come in so that they start pumping money into it, and it isn't something that becomes a liability for the board. Fair enough. But why is it that Rain's involvement is of such big interest? Well, they're a pretty renowned bank, but it's not just Rain who are involved. Even Deloitte have been brought in for consultation when it comes to how to value, let's say, teams and the shares, everything involved. So it is something that has reached a point of seriousness. They want to privatize, and they want to privatize ASAP. Now, it is worth noting that Rain are the same group that worked with both Manchester United and Chelsea when the clubs were looking for takeovers. In Chelsea's case, it was a full takeover after Roman Abramovich was deemed a not fit owner. In the case of Manchester United, it was when the Glazer family wanted to sell off part of their stake, and it was something that led to eventually the Ineos group headed by Sir Jim Ratcliffe taking over about 25% of the club. Now, the money involved is the main factor when it comes to the reason. I mean, look, 500 million pounds is the amount being quoted that could be raised via the sale of these shares, or at least that's the figure that the ECB are hopeful and are expecting. As it is, their main aim is to ensure that they start monetizing the tournament a lot more. What this does tell you is that there's definitely a little bit of trouble in paradise. Perhaps the league and the format as it is hasn't caught on as much as expected, and so the ECB are looking for an out of sorts. They're looking for a way to wash their hands of all of this, bring in private investors, and ensure that they can start handling the things rather than let the ECB deal with a mess that in many ways they only created. Now, will these private investors involve IPL teams? I mean, there were rumors that a lot of IPL teams, whether it be Sunrisers Hyderabad, Mumbai Indians, Chennai Super Kings, even the Kolkata Knight Riders, were interested in getting another franchise, because that is what a lot of these teams have been doing. They've been starting to invest their money into leagues around the world, not just the IPL. Well, as it turns out, a recent occurrence that took place in the IPL may have thrown a little bit of a spanner into that works. How so? Well, an IPL team official told CricBuzz that we're not sure if the BCCI will encourage the IPL teams to invest in the 100 after what they have done. They being the ECB, and what they've done being pulling the England players from the IPL 2024. Now, you remember that England ended up pulling out their players before the start of the playoffs because they had a series take place against Pakistan, and that was something that annoyed a lot of people. What the report is suggesting is that the BCCI might, let's say, dissuade IPL franchises from investing in the 100 as a form of subtle revenge. If that were to be the case, yikes, it would definitely throw a spanner in the works for them getting proper privatization, because the most likely investors in this particular case would perhaps be IPL franchises who have been investing every single league. Is that going to be the case? Though I think that's something that's only time will tell. Perhaps Rain can find some new investors. But what we can say for sure is that the 100, as it were, may very well be in its final stages. The Vitality T20 Blast, something that was supposed to be consigned to the past is actually a tournament that is still, let's say, drawing in plenty of crowds, whereas the 100, well, it seems to be becoming a bit of a bill burden as far as the ECB is concerned. Or does that say for the future? Perhaps it tells you is that T20s are the way to go, and perhaps inventing another format may not be the need of the hour for cricket, especially if you're having to turn to Indian franchises to save an ailing franchise league. But that's just my thought on things. What do you guys think? You can let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, X and Facebook. Don't forget to download the SportsTech app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well. For now, from my side though, it is goodbye.